La 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 la. Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc, Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. Swag the fuck out. Swag the fuck out. I'm gonna talk about steroids. A lot of people get mad. Hold on. Let me enjoy this bro meal. Chicken and rice in Tupperware. Beat that, motherfuckers. Beat that in broness. Check out my Instagram, at Marc Lobliner. You'll see this fucking grill marks I had on that steak. So fucking good. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this anonymous. Title, subject of the email is due diligence. I've never done a girl named Diligence, but I heard she's hot. Hey Marc, I'm 23 years old and recently qualified for an NPC Nationals in bodybuilding. I was given the option to start cycling being steroid use, not like riding a bicycle and shit, right? After much thought and research, decided it was not the time to take the step yet. And you qualified for Nationals in bodybuilding. Good job, bro. Seriously, fucking good job. It's called paying your fucking dues and getting shredded without the use of anabolics. And I think everyone should do that before jumping on the shit. Decided it was not time to take that step yet. I plan on continuing to do my research on everything I can to help myself make an informed decision in the next few years. That being said, I have a couple questions for you. Could you compile the list of topics I should research diligently before this decision comes to mind? Again, i.e. ethers, half-lives, etc. You know, I'm gonna get into this and I'm gonna speak hypothetically, but don't email me thinking I'm gonna fucking give you sources and all that bullshit. Look, I have a lot to fucking lose, and I'm not gonna lose it over helping some dude fucking juice. Just not what I'm gonna fucking do. If you wanna talk shit, whatever, you know, this isn't the place. My email is not the place. Written correspondence is not the place. 2, after cycling off, is it possible to keep a good amount of your progress? I've heard both yes and no to this debate. Here I'm gonna channel in Jason Blaha. A lot of people think I don't like Jason. I think a lot of his views and a lot of things he says I don't agree with. However, I do agree with him on the androgen use, and I do get along with him when we speak offline. I have nothing against Jason, and I'm going to give him credit on agreeing with me, or at least sharing similar views where credit is due. And I want to lick honey off of his hairy, manly chest. What would be a 3? What would be a good sign, physically speaking, that it's time to take the next step? Thank you for your time. All the best to you and your family. Let's start off on number 1, before the questions are even asked. Congratulations on qualifying for Nationals as a natty. I myself qualified for Nationals at 150 pounds. I myself competed as a lightweight and a middleweight for many, many, many years before jumping into the light heavy/heavyweight division. And to that, I commend you for not being a complacent prick who just jumps on the shit right away without fucking training hard, learning how to diet, and paying their dues. I'm old school like that. I mean, where I came from, you didn't just fucking start doing shit. You had to pay your dues. You had to show that you could actually train naturally and do well naturally. And I also recommend, unless you have a medical condition, for the record, I'm gonna state this because this guy, obviously, I'm gonna go over this, but I don't ever see a need to do androgens unless you really feel competing or you really feel compelled to look a certain way. And I always say that unless you have a medical condition, and this is speaking personally and professionally, not to jump on the shit. It's just too much thinking. You could build a very, very, very good physique naturally. It's harder, it takes more time. You're not gonna get as big as impressive, but sometimes you might not, you might have the genetics of a Doug Miller, I don't fucking know. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's something to be said about staying natural and the lack of thought that goes into it. You don't have to worry about putting shit in your body. You know what I mean? Having to inject every week for the rest of your life is just another variable in life that one need not deal with if one need not have to. But let's go into this and assume that you've already thought about this. Esters and half-lives. Obviously, I don't really, here's the thing. Generally, people use longer esters in the off-season, like enanthate, cypionate, sustanon, and also with trenbolone, you have enanthate, those kind of things that are oil-based, which last in your system for a long time. That way you don't have to inject as frequently, whereas pre-contest you have to inject every day to every other day. When you're far out and you're not doing as high of doses, you get by with Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Thursday, depending on your doses. Generally speaking, when you're looking at a longer ester, you're looking at generally 10 to 20 days in your system. But I still like to see those, if I'm, you know, if you're speaking in hypotheticals, Done twice a week, because think about it, if you're at 16 days, obviously it's gonna go up and go down, but if you inject twice a week, it'll prevent this kind of shit. So at least twice a week, even with long esters, is generally what I recommend. I know Palumbo recommends the same. Not sure what Blaha thinks on that. As for pre-contest, you're looking at every other day with the acetates and all that bullshit and your propionates and all that. And I just gotta warn you guys, if you're young and you don't want to hear this shit, your kids are in the room, turn this off, because it is illegal stuff. I'm just speaking from what I've read in Muscular Development magazine. I'm not promoting drug use. In fact, I'm the opposite. I do not recommend anybody does this shit. I'm just saying what people do. So yeah, I mean, generally speaking, when you get close to a show, 8, 12 weeks out, a lot of people switch to the faster esters for the lack of water retention. Some people don't have to. I know a lot of pros who keep the enanthates and the longer esters because they just don't hold water, and in fact, it makes them flatter. So again, that's a personal preference, personal thing. After cycling off, is it possible to keep a good amount of your progress? No. I'm gonna be dead real here, and I've said this in videos before. If you're gonna jump on, realize it's a lifelong commitment, you're on TRT for the rest of your life. I think the deleterious health effects of going on and off, and the up and down cycle you put your body on, of going low in estrogen, high, low, high, I think it's more detrimental, and you're gonna lose a lot of your gains. Your gains are gonna be very up and down rather than linear, which is why when you make that decision to jump on, don't look at it as a cycle, look at it as a lifestyle. Where your only cycle is going to be blasting and cruising, and Jason Blaha agrees with me on this, is when you decide to go on, bro, you're on. Because that time period when you come off is going to be the worst time of your life. Your fucking estrogen is going to be all fucked up, your cortisol is going to be fucked up, your brain fucking hormones are going to be fucked up, you're going to be fucked up. So if you are fucking cycling, the only cycle you should think of is low dose and high dose. Because the fucking, I know a lot of people are gonna comment below, I cycle all the time and I don't lose anything. Well, fuck you, you're a fucking great person. Okay, I don't fucking care. At the end of the day, I've never seen someone who cycles, who actually isn't lying about it, keep their gains. Or at least look impressive year round. I mean, a lot of these guys will blow up and sink down, blow up and sink down. Who the fuck wants to do that? If you're on, you're on. I'm not recommending you stay on high doses year round, but like HRT, which is about 200 milligrams, 250 milligrams every week, generally speaking. Again, this speaking in general terms, depending on the person. Obviously, IFBB pros, they cruise on a lot more because they're IFBB pros, and to maintain that level of mass, they have to take a lot of shit. Think about it. If you're fucking maintaining on 1,000 milligrams of testosterone, if you cut it back to 250, you're gonna lose some size. So it is what it is. What would be a good sign physically speaking? So basically don't cycle off. And I gotta give my props to Jason Blaha for agreeing with me on that, a fellow YouTuber. What would be a good sign physically speaking that it's time to take the next step? There is no real good sign. If you feel emotionally and that you're set in your ways and you're gonna be on this and maintain this lifestyle for the rest of your life, that's it. I think it's more mental. As far as physically, you've qualified for nationals, you're 23, you're outside that under 21 range where I say you have no business even thinking about steroids. Honestly, if you can avoid doing steroids of bodybuilding and looking a certain way and you don't have a medical condition that requires a TRT, if you can avoid doing steroids, I would recommend, highly recommend against it, just because who fucking cares? It's not worth it. But, and this is for all the kids out there, if you decide to take that step like most, if not every professional athlete does, if you think you have what it takes to be an IFBB pro and that's important to you, you're an adult, I'm a libertarian, drugs are illegal. All I gotta say is drugs are illegal, it's your choice. I highly recommend any illegal activity. However, I mean, that's your choice. There are safe ways to do it, just be sure to look into it, research it, and consult with someone, not me, who's willing to speak with it openly about the health benefits. And don't talk to anyone who does stupid shit like, you know, that dude at the gym who sells drugs. He's gonna tell you to do dumb shit. And also be cognizant of oral steroids because they do have the deleterious liver effects. You know, injectables can as well, but orals are just that much worse. That's it, guys. I've gone on for about 10 minutes. I just want you guys to know that while I'm not a proponent of people jumping on the shit, if you're gonna do it, make sure that you know a couple things. One is, I don't believe in cycling. I believe in either being on steroids or off steroids. There's no in between. There's no like, okay, I'm on today and I'm cycling off. If you go on steroids, it's a TRT thing. It's a lifelong decision. I just spit rice on my keyboard. Cut my teeth. And again, don't get on the shit to replace diet and training. Steroids without diet and training don't work. They work, but you're a fucking idiot and you're giving a bad name to all the people who actually do it right. If you're gonna get on steroids, make sure that you are cognizant of the fact that your diet and training needs to be in order. Your diet needs to be fucking obsessive. Your diet needs to be on point. Your training needs to be hardcore, intense, and consistent. And if you're using steroids as a crutch to replace consistent and hardcore diet and training, you are a douchebag. I really appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, share if you agree with it. If you don't agree with it, you know, just be nice, be respectful, state your position on why I'm incorrect in the comments section. I'm okay with people disagreeing. I've changed my position a lot of times. I'm just not a huge fan of people calling me names because I have a certain opinion on things based on my life experience and what I see. For the record about me, I've never, ever, ever been a huge proponent of people doing steroids. Unless there's a reason for it, unless they think it through. We're all adults. I'm pro-drug, being that I believe in the legalization of all drugs. I'm pro-marijuana. I'm even pro-cocaine. I believe that it's an adult's decision, and victimless crimes are pretty much, for the most part, we're filling the jail system with a bunch of people who really don't need to fucking be there. And you take out a lot of gang activity, and you take out their sole source of income, which is usually selling drugs, is what gangs make money on. So let's just put that in perspective, that my political and lifestyle beliefs play a role in my beliefs on steroids. So if you want to take that step, remember, you're an adult. And I appreciate you emailing me and making an informed decision about it. And hopefully I can copy and paste this video to people who have the same question. And again, if you have anybody who has these questions, send them this email. But please don't ask me to expand on this email, because it is a legal fucking hazard for me to comment or talk personally about someone's steroid use. And again, for the record, and I mean this, I am against illicit drug use. That's against the law. That people don't need to do. It's just a whole new variable in your life. But if you want to take that step, that's between you, your family, and if you have that belief system, God. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Marc Lobliner, tigerfitness.com. Follow me on Instagram at Marc Lobliner, and follow me on youporn.com. Because watching me doing the wheelbarrow,
it's not a game, you guys. It's not a game.
Oh, that's what's up.